Well, hello there, science fans. Before we dive headfirst into the amazing, the incredible, the truly mind-blowing world of biology, I have a small favor to ask. If you love science, if you're curious about how the world works, if you want to keep these amazing discoveries coming, go ahead and hit that like button. Click subscribe so you don't miss a single thing. And hey, why not share this with a friend? Science is always better when we explore it together. It's a way for us to connect, to learn, and to appreciate the universe we live in. Let's build a community of curiosity, one click at a time. Now, get ready to put on your thinking caps, because today we are going on a journey. It's a journey to the very beginning of you, me, and pretty much every complex living thing on this planet. We're going to explore the microscopic world of cells, but not just any cells. We're talking about the superstars, the VIPs, the cells that hold the literal key to life itself. These are the cells that make sure life continues, generation after generation. They are the architects of diversity and the foundation of heredity. So buckle up, because things are about to get cellular. It's going to be an awesome ride into the fundamental mechanics of existence. We're going to talk about something called gamete biology. Whoa, big words, I know. But don't you worry. Science is all about taking big, complicated ideas and breaking them down into small, understandable pieces. That's what we do here. Think of it like a giant puzzle. Each piece might look strange on its own, but when we start putting them together, a beautiful picture emerges. Today, our puzzle is all about the special cells that create new life. We'll look at where they come from, what they do, and why they are so incredibly important for everyone, everywhere. It's a story of life, of legacy, and of the elegant science that makes it all possible. So, are you ready? Because understanding the world around us and the world inside us is one of the most exciting adventures you can ever take. Let's go. All right, let's get right into it. Gamete biology. It sounds like something from a science fiction movie, doesn't it? But it's very, very real. Gamete biology is simply the scientific study of gametes. And what are gametes, you ask? Great question. Gametes are special cells that organisms use for sexual reproduction, sperm cells, egg cells. This field of science looks at everything about them. How are they made? What are they made of? How do they find each other? How do they combine to start a new life? It's a field full of mystery, discovery, and incredible importance. Think about it. Without gametes, there would be no puppies, no kittens, no baby birds, no new people. Gamete biology is, at its heart, the study of the continuation of life. It's the science of how genetic information is packaged and passed down from one generation to the next. It helps us understand heredity, why you might have your mother's eyes or your father's nose. It's a fundamental part of biology that connects every single one of us to our ancestors, stretching back through time. To really understand gametes, we have to take a trip back in time. Way back. To the 1600s. We need to meet a man who was not a trained scientist, but a cloth merchant from the Netherlands. His name was Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Now, this guy had an amazing hobby. He was obsessed with grinding tiny glass lenses, making them more and more powerful. He built his own simple microscopes, hundreds of them. And with these microscopes, he looked at everything he could get his hands on. Pond water, tooth scrapings, blood, you name it. He was one of the very first people to peer into the microscopic world. One day, in 1677, Leeuwenhoek decided to examine a sample of his own semen. Imagine his surprise when he saw it was full of tiny, swimming creatures. He called them animalcules, which means little animals. He described them as having a thin, tail-like part that they used to propel themselves forward. He was astounded. He had discovered sperm cells. He was the first human in history to ever see them. He didn't know exactly what they were for, but he knew he had stumbled upon something incredible. He meticulously drew what he saw and sent his observations to the Royal Society of London, the top scientific organization of the day. At first, many of the established scientists were skeptical. Tiny, swimming animals in a bodily fluid. It sounded preposterous. But Leeuwenhoek was a careful and honest observer. His descriptions were so detailed and his reputation for accuracy grew so strong that the scientific world eventually had to accept his findings. His discovery opened up a whole new universe for exploration. It was a revolutionary moment. For the first time, people realized that the process of creating life might involve these microscopic agents. It was the very beginning of what we now call gamete biology and reproductive science. Van Leeuwenhoek's work laid the foundation for everything we know about gametes today. He is often called the father of microbiology because he was the first to observe and describe single-celled organisms, which he originally called animalcules. While he didn't discover the egg cell, that would come later, as it's much larger and doesn't move. His identification of the sperm cell was a monumental first step. It sparked centuries of debate and research about how life is formed. So, next time you think about science, remember Antony van Leeuwenhoek, the curious cloth merchant who, with his homemade lenses, revealed a hidden world and changed our understanding of life forever. We've met the man who first saw them. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. What exactly are gametes? A gamete is a very special type of cell. It's a reproductive cell. Male gamete, sperm, female gamete, ovum or egg. These cells are unique for one reason. Unlike other cells, skin cells, muscle cells, brain cells, gametes contain only half the genetic information. They are haploid, one set of blueprints instead of two. Most body cells are diploid, two complete sets of chromosomes. In humans, 46 chromosomes, 23 pairs, one set of 23 from your mother, one set of 23 from your father. Chromosomes are like instruction manuals. Gametes undergo a special process to end up with one set of 23. Not 23 pairs, just 23 single chromosomes. This is crucial for reproduction. Why only half? Think fertilization, sperm cell, egg cell. If each gamete had 46, the baby would have 92 chromosomes. Its children would have 184, and so on. That breaks the system. Genetic instructions would be mixed up. By having half the material, sperm, 23, plus egg, 23 fuse, they create a zygote with 46 chromosomes. How does a regular body cell with its 46 chromosomes become a specialized gamete with only 23? It happens through a truly elegant and complex process called meiosis. Meiosis is a special type of cell division. Mitosis makes two identical daughter cells. Meiosis makes four unique cells with half the genetic material. It's a two-part process. Meiosis 1, meiosis 2. Think of it as a photocopier that first shuffles the pages of two instruction manuals and then makes copies that each have only half the shuffled pages. It's a masterpiece of cellular engineering. The process starts with a special diploid cell in reproductive organs, the testes in males and the ovaries in females. In meiosis 1, the cell duplicates its DNA. Then, something amazing happens. The paired chromosomes, one from the mother and one from the father, snuggle up together and swap sections of DNA. This is called crossing over. It's like taking two decks of cards, one red and one blue, and swapping a few cards between them. This shuffling creates new, unique combinations of genes on each chromosome. This is a major source of genetic diversity. After this shuffling, the cell divides, separating the paired chromosomes into two new cells. Those two new cells, each with 23 pairs of chromosomes, then immediately enter a second division, meiosis 2. The cells divide again, resulting in a grand total of 4 haploid cells. Each of these 4 cells now has just 23 single chromosomes, and thanks to that crossing over step, each one is genetically unique. It's an incredibly precise and controlled process. In males, this process, called spermatogenesis, happens continuously from puberty onward, producing millions upon millions of tiny sperm cells. In females, the process called oogenesis is a bit different. Now that we know how they're made, let's compare the two main characters, the sperm and the egg. Both are gametes, but they couldn't be more different in form and function. Form follows function. Each cell is perfectly designed for its role. Two sides of the same coin, a duo made to create new life. Let's start with the sperm, the traveler, one of the smallest human cells, built for speed and delivery. A sperm has 3 main parts. Head contains the haploid nucleus with 23 chromosomes. Acrosome, the tip of the head, a cap of enzymes. Those enzymes help break into the egg's outer layers. Midpiece, packed with mitochondria. Mitochondria, the powerhouses generating energy for the journey. Tail or flagellum, long and whip-like. It propels the sperm forward. A lean, efficient genetic delivery machine, now the egg or ovum. In stark contrast, one of the largest human cells, almost visible without a microscope. The egg is non-motile. It drifts. Its size comes from a large volume of cytoplasm. Cytoplasm filled with nutrients, proteins, fats, messenger molecules to fuel early embryo divisions. The egg is the nest. The egg is the pantry. The egg is the control center. The egg has protective layers. The zona pellucida, a jelly-like coat. It acts as a barrier and has species-specific binding proteins. Sperm, small, mobile, stripped down, produced in the millions, built for competition. Egg, huge, stationary, nutrient-rich, produced in very limited numbers, the ultimate prize and life support system. So why are gametes and sexual reproduction so important? Why don't all creatures just make copies of themselves? Some do, through a process called asexual reproduction. But the vast majority of complex organisms rely on gametes: flowers, fish, people. The number one reason is genetic diversity. Remember the crossing over step in meiosis, where chromosomes swap bits of DNA? A new individual gets a unique mix of genes from two different parents. This constant shuffling and mixing of the genetic deck creates variation. It's why you and your siblings are different from each other and from your parents. This diversity is not just for looks, it's a species' ultimate survival tool. Imagine a population of plants that are all identical clones. If a new disease comes along that can kill that specific plant, it could wipe out the entire population in one go. Now imagine a population of sexually reproducing plants. They're all slightly different from one another. That same disease might kill many, but because of genetic variation, a few individuals might have the right genes to be resistant. They survive, reproduce, and pass on resistant genes. This is the engine of evolution. Genetic diversity is the raw material for natural selection. A changing environment, whether it's a new predator, a shift in climate, or a new disease, favors certain traits over others. Individuals with advantageous traits are more likely to survive and reproduce, passing those traits to the next generation via their gametes. Over long periods, this can lead to new species. Gametes truly are the spice of life, providing variation essential for adaptation, resilience, the beautiful tapestry of life. The science of gametes is not stuck in the past with Leeuwenhoek. It is a vibrant, fast-moving field of research with incredible discoveries happening right now as we speak. Scientists are using powerful new tools to understand how sperm are made, how eggs are made, and how they interact. Researchers can now watch fertilization in real time with stunning clarity, seeing the zinc spark from the egg at the exact moment a sperm enters. One groundbreaking area is in vitro gametogenesis, IVG. Scientists try to create gametes in a dish, sperm, eggs, starting from ordinary cells like skin. They first reprogram skin cells back to a stem cell-like state, then guide them with chemical signals into gametes. So far, IVG has worked in mice, creating functional eggs and sperm that produced healthy baby mice. The work in humans is early, but it holds immense promise. IVG could help people who can't produce gametes due to cancer treatment, genetic conditions, or age. It could also help save endangered species. Take skin cells from the last animals of a species, create new sperm and eggs, and possibly bring them back from extinction. There are important ethical and safety questions, so scientists proceed very carefully. Other discoveries are equally fascinating. Scientists found key genes that act as master switches for meiosis. They've learned how the egg chooses a sperm, showing it's not just a race, but a complex chemical conversation. So there you have it. From a 17th century merchant peering through a tiny lens to modern scientists creating gametes in a dish, our journey into the world of gamete biology has been a wild one. We've seen how these tiny cells, the sperm, the egg, hold the keys to the future. They are the result of an elegant process called meiosis, designed to create genetic diversity. This diversity is the very reason life on Earth is so resilient, so adaptable, and so wonderfully varied. These cells are more than just biological mechanisms. They are the link in the unbroken chain of life that connects you to the very first living things on our planet. Taking the time to learn about the cells inside us is incredibly important. It's not just for scientists in labs. Understanding biology helps us make informed decisions about our own health and the health of our families. So I encourage you to stay curious. Ask questions, read, explore. Never stop learning about the world and about yourself. So if you enjoyed our deep dive into the world of gametes, please do me a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more scientific adventures. Share this with anyone you know who has a curious mind. Let's keep the spirit of discovery alive and well. Until next time, this is Bill Nye, reminding you to go out there and, as always, science on.